Funkhauser.
What is the title of today's show?
The Caitlyn Jenner Birthday celebration. Happy birthday!
Oh, it's a Caitlyn Jenner birthday celebration? Well, you know what? Let's dive right into it, actually, shall we, today? Let's get into the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair. Certainly not balanced. And then after that, I've got some interesting news about Donald Trump walking it like he talks it in terms of rejecting campaign finance money because, well, you know, he's out there going, hey, our system is broken because you can buy every single politician on the dais here with me. He said this during numerous debates, and he's he's doing something that he is in a unique position to do. He's rejecting campaign finance, saying, I got this. I don't want to be in anyone's pocket while I'm president. Now, it's an interesting move, certainly one that not every politician is capable of. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest he's probably the only one that's capable of it. Well, you know, the Clintons do pretty well. Hillary Clinton probably could do that. And if Trump really wanted to throw a spanner in the works, he would go like, hey, Hillary, look what I'm doing. I know you and Bill have plenty stashed away. You serious about the office of President of the United States of America? Why don't you go ahead and... Oh, wait, no, you've already been bought by too many people. Anyways, we'll get into that because it's a very interesting kind of a precedent-setting, groundbreaking situation. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Right now, though, let's get on with the news.
Firstly,
how are you?
Oh, I'm good. Secondly...
No, you're not. I've decided, Funkhauser, I think you have to be, well, you have to be more of an open book on the air because you're such a soldier. You really are. And you're like, I'm good. No, you're not. You're drinking a bottle and a half of NyQuil a day, and you are staving off the grim clutches of death with every second. You're really, really sick. Yet here you are, kicking ass and taking names. Yeah. Or I was like, Funkhauser, you feeling any better? He was like, drinking about a bottle and a half of NyQuil every single day. And as Dennis Leary said, that is the 13th step for all you 12-step recovery types. And it's like, are you drunk? No, I have a cold. But you are legitimately sick as all get out, correct?
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling... Every time I say I'm feeling better, then boom, I get hit with another one. So...
Yeah.
It's a throat thing that will not go away. Yeah. And I have to get better by tomorrow because today's my mom's birthday and we're going to Disneyland tomorrow.
Oh.
It's a very fun time.
Disney running a fever doesn't sound like good times to me.
Not at all.
And your mom won't take a rain check if you were, hacking up a lung, running a fever of 110?
It is so difficult to get Disney tickets.
Are Disney tickets, as someone who is not a person that goes to Disney and things of that nature, do you have to buy them for a specific day?
Well, this thing's special because it's a Halloween thing, so it starts at like 4 in the afternoon and goes till midnight. And special tickets, you have to buy them 3-4 months in advance, and every's sold out.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can really...
Yeah, that's it for you. You can't take a rain check. Well, I hope you feel better then.
Thank you. I'm taking every day as it comes.
Are you doing that thing? I hate this thing. Are you doing that thing where you're shivering and sweating at the same time?
No, it's just stuck in my throat, It's just, that's where it's at. It's in the throat and the head. It's not a body thing. It's the worst kind of cold a broadcaster can get.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I always find, here's the thing, whenever I have any kind of like a hoarse voice or I lose my voice or I'm sick or like if it's sort of related to the upper respiratory tract in some way, shape, or form, and you can notice it in my voice, 9 days out of 10 when I have that situation going on, that's when like chicks are emailing me and calling the station being like, hey, what's up? What you doing? You want to hang out later? Sound really good. I'm like, really? My impending death arouses you? That's sick, lady. Sick. Like when I'm hacking up along, you go wild. Weird.
So, hey, ladies, what's up?
Yeah. Do you have anything to add, or should we get on with the news?
I think that's it. I'm pretty boring lately, being sick. I'll tell you more next week.
What about, see, Funkhauser, whenever he says he's boring, the exact opposite turns out to be true. And the one example that I use of this situation over and over again because it makes the point in the best way possible. Is one time on the show we were talking about, hey, who's gotten busy on a plane? Funkhauser, you ever gotten busy on a plane? No, I haven't gotten busy on a plane. Okay, well, neither have I. This is a boring conversation. 2 segments later, he's like, I forgot. Yes, I did get busy on a plane. It was a private jet with an adult actress. I was just like, wait a second. You joined the Mile High Club in a private jet with a porn star? And this, you forgot about it? Funkhauser has a habit of leaving out all the most interesting stuff. And the other day, he said, "Oh, you know what? I remember I had that." I was like, "Whoa!"
I didn't remember. I accidentally stumbled across it.
Oh, okay.
And I went, "Oh yeah."
Funkhauser, we probably can't play it on today's show, right?
Yeah, no. It does epically tease it for a future date.
Funkhauser came across an interview that he did with one formerly beloved
former doctor,
formerly beloved doctor, comedy superstar, acting strange. Perhaps he did an interview with Bill Cosby and played it to me a little while ago. I was like, oh my God! Not only does he sound extraordinarily creepy, but he sounds completely out of it as well. It's mind-numbing, this Bill Cosby interview that Funkhauser unearthed.
I think his mind was numb when he was doing it.
Here we are talking about the cause every single day, pretty much, for the last year, as, as his reputation takes another hit. And Funkhauser, now 2 years into our professional relationship, was like, I got a really good but very creepy interview with Bill Cosby back in the day. And I was like, and you decide to bring this to our attention now. Now, the unearthing of the interview has raised certain legal questions. And once we're certain that all of those have been resolved, Funkhauser can share with you.
I had to email corporate and ask if it was okay.
Yeah, Funkhauser can share with you just an interview of Bill Cosby being epically creepy on the phone with him.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. So, all right. That said, let's get on with the news.
Well, looks like Caitlyn Jenner turned 66 today.
Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner turned 66 today. Well, about 50% of her does. The rest of it's brand new. It always makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh because so many people, and I get it. Look, I'm not taking away from what Caitlyn Jenner has done. We've said this on the show a zillion times before. If you look at the rate of attempted suicides in this country, if you're straight, if you're a guy that's into girls, or a girl that's into guys, it's like right around 4%. It jumps up exponentially if you are gay. Attempted suicide rates jump up exponentially if you're gay to I think around 15 or 20%. Now, you look at somebody that has gender dysphoria, which is the term that started being used with regard to people that are confused about their sexuality or feel as though their sexuality is just wrong, that they are a guy in a girl's body or a girl in a guy's body. Basically what Caitlyn Jenner dealt with his entire life and then now her entire life. If you deal with the issue of gender dysphoria, that rate of attempted suicide, which is right around 4%, if you're straight and secure in your sexuality and know who you are and know what you're all about, jumps up to 45% thereabouts. Almost half of people that deal with gender dysphoria, people who are thinking of transitioning or who have transitioned, almost half of those people attempt suicide at some stage in their life. Now, I don't want to take away from any of what Caitlyn Jenner has done in terms of shining a light on this particular issue and not only offering a little bit of hope to people that have this gender dysphoria, but also offering the rest of the world some context so that maybe we can be more familiar with it and be more understanding when we come across it, and maybe we can get the attempted rate of suicide down. That is the value in what Caitlyn Jenner has done. Beyond that, Bruce Jenner seemed like a terrible person. Caitlyn Jenner seems like a terrible person as well. And I laugh at all the people who go, oh, you can really tell. Bruce was meant to be a woman this whole time because now Bruce is Caitlyn. Caitlyn's just so beautiful, the epitome of womanhood. Spent $750,000 on a new head, all kinds of plastic surgery. There's absolutely nothing. It's not like she's settling into her natural beauty. It's like she went out and bought herself an entirely new body, face, and the works. Let's pull this one over to the side of the reality turnpike. So Caitlyn Jenner, who turned 66 today, if you throw her a surprise party, you're going to have no idea if it worked because, well, the face always looks that way. Go on.
Wait a minute. My mom and Caitlyn Jenner have the same birthday?
Oh, really?
Are they the same person?
No, I don't think so.
Look that up.
I'm not the...
I hope not.
I'm going to guess no.
The Bieber's in the news.
Justin Biebs?
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? He says he's done apologizing for the immature, obnoxious things he's done in the past.
Yeah. I'm done apologizing. You see what he's doing there? He's sort of like demanding your forgiveness. And, you know, I was thinking about this. I actually heard about this, and I've thought this on numerous occasions. Forgiveness is an amazing, amazing thing. Forgiveness is an incredible, unique, unicorn, sparkly, one-off thing that just can't be... There's no way to drum up forgiveness if it isn't there. It's an amazing thing because what Justin Bieber is basically doing is he's demanding our forgiveness. He's like, I'm done apologizing for all the immature, obnoxious things that I've done in the past. I want to move on and do some more new obnoxious things that I can apologize for later. And I now expect you to have forgiven me for all of this. And that's the amazing, unique, incredible thing about forgiveness. You can't take it. You can't even create it within yourself when it's just not there. Forgiveness has to be a real thing. And this is what Justin Bieber's trying to do. He's trying to get closure on the fact that he's a D-bag. He's trying to take forgiveness from you and me and the rest of the world with regard to his being an awful human being. And it doesn't work like that. Like, take this is the other guy that made me think about this. Made me take a long, hard think about this. Michael Vick. Now, no matter how many animal rights charities Michael Vick gives to, no matter how sorry he says he is, no matter how much he says he's paid his debt to society with jail time and all the rest, that won't change the fact that when someone says the name Michael Vick, you, if you're like me, you will probably hear the words Michael and Vick and immediately think, dog-killing piece of human garbage that should be dipped in barbecue sauce and fed to rabid hyenas. And it's the same with Justin Bieber. As much as the Biebs tries to put his past behind him, it doesn't change the fact that when you hear Justin Bieber's name, if you are like me, you probably immediately think annoying lesbian haircutted pop spud sent to Earth by Satan via Canada to ruin everything for all of us, that spits on his audience, has sex with South American hookers, drinks tubs of cough syrup, and is a generally awful pimple on the backside of humanity that desperately needs to be squeezed. Too bad, so sad. I'm sorry, Justin Bieber. Does not work that way. Go on. What else?
Former Playboy models say Hugh Hefner is frail and relies on nurses. Very sad.
Former Playboy model says Playboy models say that Hugh Hefner is frail and relies on nurses. And that's your news that happened this day in 1985. It's been old for a long time. I wonder what it's like to be in that guy's head. You know?
I hope that's not true because, he's been taken care of.
But how old is he?
I don't know, 70-something? He's not really that old.
No, he's older than you think. Yeah, let's pop this into Hugh Hefner. How old is Hugh Hefner?
We'll find out.
89 years old.
Oh,
you're supposed to be frail and looked after by nurses at 89 years old. He should have retired from the Hugh Hefner business a little while ago, but I'd probably find that hard to give up as well.
This is USA Headline News. I'm Melody Burkett. The third Republican presidential debate will take over prime time tonight. Candidate Jeb Bush tells Fox News he will be going heavy against frontrunner Donald Trump.
Could be opportunities to do it if he talks about protectionism, if he talks about a pessimistic worldview, which I don't share.
CNBC will air the event live from Boulder, Colorado at 8 p.m. Eastern. The main debate stage will feature new frontrunner Ben Carson, Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Carly Fiorina, Ted Cruz, Mike Huckabee, Chris Christie, John Kasich, and Rand Paul. There's a report the deputy who was caught on camera slamming a South Carolina high school student to the floor will lose his job. NBC News reports Richland County Sheriff's Deputy Ben Fields will be relieved of duty. Videos of the incident show the white deputy flipping over the black female student as she sat at her desk. You're listening to USA Headline News. I'm Melody Burkett.
Do you have trouble remembering names or where you left your keys? Ever feel like you're just in a mental fog? Over 140 million Americans over 40 suffer age-related memory loss. That's because, as we age, our brains stop producing vital neural peptides, making it harder to retain important information. In fact, by age 50, the average person has lost half their short-term memory capacity. That's why a team of neuroscientists created Sebria, a medical miracle shown in a double-blind clinical trial to dramatically improve short-term memory in just 30 days. Better memory and clarity can boost your career and help you enjoy time with your kids and grandkids. Call 800-413-8643 now to receive a full 30-day supply of Sebria risk-free. Dramatically improve your memory with Sebria. Just call 800-413-8643. That's 800-413-8643. 800-413-8643.
Trending. In Game 1 of the World Series, it went 14 innings in Kansas City before the Royals edged the Mets 5-4. Eric Hosmer, one of the heroes for Kansas City, with nobody out and the bases loaded in the 14th. He lifted a sacrifice fly into right field that brought home the game-winning run, and the Royals grabbed the 1-0 series lead. Now, the Mets very nearly won this game in the ninth inning with one out. Alex Gordon hit a solo home run to send the game in the extra innings, setting up Kansas City for the eventual victory. Game 2 is going to be Wednesday night in Kansas City. Later tonight, it is on Fox. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern Time. Opening night in the NBA saw the defending champion Warriors knock off the Pelicans 111-95. Reigning league MVP Steph Curry had 40 points for Golden State. The Bulls edged the Cavaliers 97-95. Pau Gasol of Chicago blocked a potential tying layup by Cleveland's LeBron James in the closing seconds to preserve the win. Derrick Rose had 18 points for the Bulls. LeBron James 25 points, 10 rebounds for the Cavaliers. I'm Eddie Garcia.
We are Fox Sports.
iHeartRadio shines the spotlight on Bad Company.
Finally, in 1998, Rodgers and Burrell joined Ralphs and Kirk of the original lineup, working on new music and touring on and off. And in 2005, Paul resumed his solo projects and embarked on a well-received and sonically impressive pairing with former Queen members Brian May and Roger Taylor. They were supplemented on tour by Queen's keyboard player Spike Edney, rhythm guitarist Jamie Moses, and bass guitarist Danny Miranda. Impressive indeed, but this was always known to be a temporary gig. Bad Company celebrated their 40th anniversary in 2013 with yet another tour, and they will always be known as one of the greatest rock bands ever.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bad Company and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio puts the spotlight on Aerosmith. In 1997, they released I Don't Want to Miss a Thing for the soundtrack to Armageddon. Aerosmith played the Super Bowl 35 halftime show in 2001 with NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly. Later that year, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 2011 and 2012, Tyler was a judge on American Idol. Despite causing friction among the band, they stayed together and returned to the studio between seasons. Aerosmith released Music from Another Dimension in late 2012, their first studio album in 8 years. All things Aerosmith, info, music, and more.
Real Radio. Real Radio. 104.1.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again.
the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
So, Funkhauser, do you feel any pressure? Do you feel any pressure to come up with a good Halloween costume?
No, I got it. I got one.
You got it. But I mean, like, just in general, you know, when you're looking at the candy-centric women releasing their inner skank holiday that is Halloween, when you are in the run-up to it, do you kind of feel like I gotta
do something?
Gotta throw some heat.
Yeah, gotta do something.
So, like, I've been told that, not asked, I've been told that I will go to a station event for one of the radio stations I work for that is Halloween, and I never wear a Halloween costume. I've had to work tons of station events, never once worn one. And our night guy is all at me. He's like, what's the problem, man? Are you allergic to fun? I was just like, and he's going as like, he's got
Are you
very
allergic to fun? Punch him in the face.
Yeah, no, I was like,
Case
well,
of the Mondays?
you know, yeah, right now, in my mind, fun would be ripping off your arm and beating you half to death with it, but I'm in middle management, so I can't tell you that to your face. So, yeah, the biggest skill that I've learned since I've clawed my way to middle management in corporate America is restraint. But he's going as, get this, he's got himself he recently had a kid. And since he had a kid, the workout regimen has gone to the dogs, and he's embracing it. I think he always wanted an excuse to do it, but his wife would pick on him, being like, "Man, that belly's not sexy. Go do some sit-ups, eat some tofu, run a lap." Like now he's got a kid, and that consumes literally all of their time. He's got an excuse. So he's settling into his newer, softer self, just, shoveling pizza down his face as much as he wants to. And his wife, who used to get on him about it, can't, because, like, well, what are you going to do? You got to go take a lap when you're looking after the baby? No, you can't do it. Everything changes when you have a kid. And he has, he's loved that part of it. And he's embracing what he refers to as his dad bod. And he bought this sort of like Boba Fett woolly hat, so he's going as dad bod Boba Fett, and he insists that I should do something Star Wars related so that we could match. I was like, "What, you mean you and I should have a couple's costume?" I was like, "No, this will never happen." But now I'm under all kinds of pressure to come up with a Halloween costume, and I don't like it.
As I'm sure you know, Saturday is it's Halloween. You better get ready. I feel like Facebook and Instagram have added a lot of pressure to making sure your kid has a good Halloween costume. When I was a kid, I was the Wolfman every year. Every year I put on a flannel shirt and glued some hair to my face, and I was the Wolfman. We put no thought into it whatsoever. Now you can't get away with that. Nowadays, you let your kids wear the same costume 7 years in a row. You get a visit from Child Protective Services. They'll knock on the door and tell you to mix it up.
Yeah, I want no part of the Halloween costume. You know what? Just F it. I'm not going as anything. I'm going as me. I'm doing what I'm always going to do.
Yeah, go as a
I thought for a
broadcaster.
second. Yeah, I'm going as a broadcaster, and I will rely on the time-honored tradition of when people go, "Where's your costume?" I will do what I've always done in that situation for the past 10 years since I've become a broadcaster and had to do Halloween events. I will say, if you look closely, you'll see that I'm dressed as the guy that's going to bang your mom later. All right, then, Funkhauser, let's roll on with the news. What else is going on in the world?
Let me get the newspaper here. And Olivia Wilde says she was drunk filming the 2013 film Drinking Buddies.
Yeah, I saw that. Olivia Wilde said she was hammered during the 2013 film Drinking Buddies while they were making it. In other news, evidently, there was a movie that came out in 2013 called Drinking Buddies. I did not know up until now. Go on.
Former Stone Temple Pilots lead singer Scott Weiland turned 48.
No word on how that's possible.
48.
I believe he celebrated by blowing out all the candles on his birthday heroin. Good for him. Go on.
Maroon 5 is in talks to headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
I heard Bruno Mars was doing it again. I don't know. Yeah. Well, Maroon 5 is my favorite group ever, replied absolutely no football fan in the history of the game. Go on.
Mike Tyson has officially endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Oh, man. Yeah. Do you think, for you listening, do you know who you're hoping gets elected? Do you know who you want to vote for, provided you're, as we get closer to as we get closer to pulling the lever for democracy in 2016? Do you know who you like? Do you know who you hope to vote for, provided they can clinch the nomination? Or are you still on the fence? Do you need some help making up your mind? If you do, let me ask you this. Does a celebrity endorsement ever help you reach one decision or another with regard to who you want to vote for president of these United States of America and leader of the free world? Will a celebrity endorsement make any difference to you, Funkhauser?
If it's Mike Tyson, it has to be.
Yeah, I think
not really, though. No.
Hold on. That's a very good Mike Tyson.
You used to call me on the cell phone. It's Mike Tyson here. I've been punched 170,000 times.
You know, that was good because you added the, very good. Because usually when we do Mike Tyson on this show, it comes out sounding exactly like our Jay Leno, which is good. But I noticed a little twang. I noticed a little twang at the end of the words that made it sound more authentically Tyson. That's good. We'll keep workshopping that. Well done, Funkhauser. Very impressed. I think nobody cares about celebrity endorsements. Well, okay, Ben Carson got Kanye West. Yeah, Kanye West reaches a lot of low information voters. So I think that could actually help Ben Carson pull from the other side of the political fence. So I think that makes a difference. Maybe Mike Tyson makes a difference too. I think Mike Tyson would, when you have a convicted rapist backing you, not a good look necessarily, but yeah, Mike Tyson has officially endorsed Donald Trump for president. But to be fair, Tyson also endorsed eating Lennox Lewis's children, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. Sorry, Iron Mike, but when it comes to perhaps the most important presidential race of our lives, you're crazy if you think I'm weighing in before I hear from Chad Ochocinco. Go on.
A man found a 1,200-year-old Viking sword while hiking in Norway.
Yeah, he is now an Avenger. Continue.
Starbucks is selling a special Halloween Frappuccino called the Frappula.
Scariest thing about it, the price. Still making payments on a flat white I had there in 2011.
Oh, you need a venti. Oh.
This feels understood.
iHeartRadio shines the spotlight on Rush.
The group returned to the studio and released a new album, Vapor Trails, in 2002. Rush did not use a single synthesizer, organ, or other keyboard on the album. To celebrate their 30th anniversary, the group released Feedback. The recording featured Rush's covers of 8 songs by some of the artists that influenced the group, including Cream, the Yardbirds, and The Who. The group continued recording and touring, releasing the albums Snakes and Arrows in 2007 and Clockwork Angels in 2012. Rush is a band completely removed from the mainstream music scene, yet remain one of the most popular rock bands in the world. It is a dichotomy that has fueled the group from the very beginning.
I won't get what I'm after till the day I die.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Rush and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bob Seger to discuss the importance of keeping true to your own vision.
If everybody does everything in a totally commercial fashion, music never gets any better. It's just everybody copying everybody else. And you have to fight for your own uniqueness. You have to fight for your own vision and stick to it when the powers that be are making money because they're commercializing you. They're telling you, but if you put another chorus at the end or whatever, and it doesn't fit the structure of the song, but if you keep hammering that chorus and make your verse shorter, and they don't know what they're talking about. It's your vision, and you have to have the strength to stick with that.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bob Seger and all your favorite.
Real Radio 104.1.
Now, someone who everybody wants to punch in the face. AD on the radio.
you know how we were talking about this guy that's giving me a hard time saying I need to... Are you allergic to fun? What are you going to go as for Halloween during this Halloween event that we're doing together? And I was like, oh, because I'm middle management, I can't rip your arm off and beat you half to death with it. Or I can't say that's what I want to do because, you have to practice restraint as a manager if you want to get the very best from your staff. But he's going as Dad Bod Boba Fett, and he insists that I wear some sort of Star Wars-esque costume so that we can have a couple's costume. And Roy, who listens to the show all the time, tweeted me, said, if you go as Chewbacca, then you really could rip his arm off and beat him with it. And, there you go. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. He also said, good thing you didn't read it before the break. Breaking the show wasn't my goal for today. Maybe tomorrow. It's already broken. Well done, Roy Shelton. You know what? Karate Kid Roy Shelton, Funkhauser. And if you want to join the conversation, at ADSXE is where you can find me. At Funk FM is where you can find super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser. What else is going on in the world?
Ben Carson has pulled ahead of Donald Trump in the polls.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's like we were talking about. Well, it's like we have talked about a lot on this show. Look at the presidential frontrunners. Ben Carson, Donald Trump, Carly Fiorina, and at number 1, 2, and 3. And then over on the left, Bernie Sanders making some serious waves, which is just shocking because he's a guy who, look, he freely uses a word that should scare off any potential voter in this country, a word that we've been conditioned to fear, and that is socialist. Bernie Sanders won't stop using the expression democratic socialist, uses it over and over again, and without even getting into what it means, just saying socialism as part of a presidential campaign in the good old U.S. of A. Seems like political suicide, but it's not been that for him. And then you look over at the fact that we have absolute non-politicians leading the pack on the right with the Ben Carsons and the Donald Trumps and the Carly Fiorinas of this world. It says that people are sick of the status quo and they want something radically different from what they've got now. But the important thing to bear in mind is that no matter how radically different you feel like your vote is, your life does not change. Your life does not change as a result of who you vote for in this country. Your life changes as a result of you getting up and making changes and making decisions every single day. So let's not get it twisted. You might want to pull the lever for democracy for a completely unlikely candidate, and you might feel great about that. But don't be confused. Don't be confused. Make the distinction between doing things in your own life and voting for someone. Not the same stuff. You got to handle your own business. But yeah, Ben Carson pulled ahead of the Donald in the polls. And you know what that means. Somebody better be ready to produce his birth certificate. Go on, Funkhauser.
Microsoft has opened a new store in NYC.
Yeah, big old Microsoft store. In fact, I hear like this giant sort of Microsoft superstore that they have in New York City and Manhattan. If it goes well, we're supposed to be getting it all around the country, much like Apple stores. And the Microsoft store apparently very similar to Apple stores, except for once or twice a week, for no reason whatsoever, it unexpectedly shuts down. Go on.
Another update. Virginia girl was charged with an assault for pelting her teacher with a baby carrot.
Yeah, just so we're aware, thanks to the legal precedent set down in Virginia, the letter of the law now dictates that a baby carrot is a weapon. And that constitutes assault. A Virginia schoolgirl charged with assault for hitting her teacher with a baby carrot. How sad is it? And how sad is it that a Virginia elementary schoolgirl has a more accurate arm than literally all the NFL quarterbacks in Texas? Continue.
It should have been assault, but it was a carrot. The average American in 1890 was putting in a 100-hour work week.
Impressive stuff, wouldn't you say? Impressive stuff. And hold on, let's see.
That's a lot of hours.
That is a lot of hours. And, maybe just, how many hours? I've never had a 9-to-5 job. So how many hours a day is 9 to 5?
8, 9.
Yeah.
9 with a launch.
So working 9 to 5, you're working a 45-hour work week. I tend to work about, let's see here, between all the stations, and I used to, like, people look at me like, they're like, what the hell are you thinking? This isn't you work too much. There's no way anything good can come of this. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to kill yourself. Being kind, I'm going to round it off to 14. My average work day is around 14 hours times 5. I work a 70-hour work week, and people say I'm insane for that. But yeah, the average American in 1890 was putting in a 100-hour work week. Or, as iPhone workers in China call them, slackers. Go on.
3 stars of The Real Housewives of New York, and stars are in quotes there, are on strike for more money.
Yeah, and the fact that you won't recognize any of their names will tell you how that's going to turn out. Do we want to do more news?
Yeah, it's up to you.
You know what? No. I want to get into... I want to get into this Donald Trump thing a little bit. Now, is that how we introduce Donald Trump segments?
Yes.
Let's try that again. I want to get into this Donald Trump thing a little bit. Donald Trump is rejecting money from pro-Trump super PACs. Say what you want about Trump. Say what you want about Donald Trump, and there's a lot of very valid reasons to make him a punchline to a joke. But this is one thing that he's absolutely 100% doing right. Now, he refuses to be bought. And this I love because it's on the backs of him going on stage at presidential debates and saying, I've bought every single one of you. You've all been in my pocket. I've given you money. I ask you to do something and you do it. And that's a broken system. He refuses to be bought, even from supporters that are just handing him money. Trump just rejected 9 pro-Trump super PACs, and he's challenging his opponents to do the same. This would mean they'd only accept money the traditional way, from small individual donations, and not these groups, not these huge fundraising groups that line campaign collection coffers and then represent special interests and essentially break the American political system by corrupting it infinitely. In a statement, he said, quote, I'm self-funding my campaign, and therefore I will not be controlled by the donors, special interests, and lobbyists who have corrupted our politics and politicians for way, way too long. I've disavowed all super PACs, requested the return of all donations made to said PACs, and I'm calling on all presidential candidates to do the same. Of course, it would be great if you could keep outside money from influencing candidates in politics in this way. So you got to hand it to Trump for absolutely 100% keeping it real and walking it like he talks it. Unfortunately, the way the system is set up these days, you basically have to be a billionaire to do this. It's pretty much impossible for a Bernie Sanders or a Ted Cruz to self-finance a presidential campaign. It's like more or less impossible, which is that this is why I think the way we run politics in this country is bunk. It's BS. Because politicians, our president, if a president is running for a second term, basically has to stop running the country, stop dealing with international affairs, and get out on the campaign trail and kiss babies and press flesh to try and get money so they can get reelected. It's absolutely freaking bananas. And that's, wow, I almost cursed on the air for the first time ever. That's not okay. Yeah, that's not okay. Yep. It's just not. This is how it should be done. PBS. Y'all get an hour once every 2 weeks. You get an hour on PBS. Everybody can watch it. You get to state your case, and we make a decision based on that. No hitting the campaign trail. Just a forum that is easy to access for absolutely everyone. Maybe not PBS. I don't want people being like, lefty, NPR. Just some sort of forum where everybody can participate. That first presidential debate, I was trying to watch it. I was like, this is crap. This is crap. Fox. It was Fox that ran it, right? Fox News. That first presidential debate, the one with all the fireworks, the highest rated cable broadcast outside of a sporting event in the history of cable broadcast. You know what I couldn't do? I couldn't watch it. I was like, hey, this is not entertainment. This is not a sporting broadcast. Sports, politics, I know a lot of people don't make the distinction between the two of them in this country anymore, but it's not the same thing. And you know what? I was in the studio. I was working. The debate was happening. And outside the studio, they sprung to get Fox News in the news department. But in my studio, they go, oh, these knuckle-dragging meathead rock dudes don't need to watch the news. They don't care. They're not interested. We won't pay for it on this television set, which meant I couldn't watch the debate. I was like, wow, this is an integral part of our political process. And here I am being locked out of it because I don't subscribe or this television isn't subscribed to. But what if you're a cord cutter like Funkhauser? Snippity snip. Oh, you can't take part in our political process because you don't pay Fox money? It's crap. And the way people are required to finance their campaigns and run their campaigns is just utter crap. It is a broken system. And say what you want about Donald Trump. Make him the punchline to as many jokes as you can. And there are plenty. And I'm not saying that I think he'd make a good president. I'm not saying I'm voting for him. But say what you want about Donald Trump. He makes a valid, cogent point about not allowing vast sums of money to be donated to his campaign by organizations that just rake in all kinds of cash in a faceless lobbyist sort of way and are a piper who will be paid after election time. It's that scenario where you get elected, you get taken into a little room and someone goes, okay, here's the real deal. This is your debt sheet. First we deal with this, then there's this, this, and this. And then they go, oh God, okay. Wow, this is a little bit more than I thought I was dealing with. But kudos to Trump for walking it like he talked it in this particular situation. One of the common criticisms of Donald Trump, though, as a presidential candidate, is that he can't relate to the average person. Well, he put that criticism to rest the other day at a town hall meeting that aired on the Today Show. He said that things weren't always easy for him and that when he started out in Brooklyn, his father had to give him, well, you'll hear for yourself.
Mr. Trump, with the exception of your family, have you ever been told no?
Oh, many times. I've been told no by him. No, many times. I mean, my whole life really has been a no, and I fought through it. I have been, and I talk about it. It's not been easy for me. It has not been easy for me. And, I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million. I came into Manhattan, and I had to pay him back, and I had to pay him back with interest. But I came into Manhattan, I started buying up properties, and I did great. And then I built the Grand Hyatt, and I got involved with the convention. So I did a good job. But I was always told that would never work. Even my father, he said, you don't want to go to Manhattan. That's not our territory. Because he was from Brooklyn and Queens, where we did, smaller things. And he said, don't go to Manhattan. That's not our territory. But he was very proud of me. But all my life, I was told no. Even for this. I mean, they said, oh, what do you want to do it for? Don't do it. Don't do it. You're against professional politicians. So far, I'm not impressed. I will tell you that.
By the way, let's just put this in perspective. You said it hasn't been easy for you, but my dad gave me $1 million loan. That probably is going to seem pretty easy to a lot of people.
But $1 million isn't very much compared to what I built.
Funkhauser, were you offered $1 million loan by your family when you were first starting to make your way in the world?
Yeah, turned it down. Wasn't enough.
I remember once my mom said, okay, you need to get your car fixed so you can get to work. $500, and this is the interest rate at which you'll be paying me back. I was an 18-year-old kid. I was like, thanks, Mom. Taught me something important, though. Taught me that you got to look to yourself. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out, being part of our family. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Have yourself an awesome one.